I'm at home today. It looks like it might rain. It's pretty gray. So I decided to do a bit of somewhat overdue bike maintenance on the pumpkin here. And the theme is going to be, this is an AliExpress bike maintenance. So everything I have, I got from AliExpress except for Tri-Flow. I'm sure like a lot of you, you've had your bottle of Tri-Flow for a long time. I don't even remember where I got that. Maybe from Mountain Equipment Co-op where I used to work over a decade ago. Anyways, I want to change. These are the original brake cables. You can hear they're kind of squeaky. I want my bike to be silent. One little maintenance item I have is this brake arm is a little loose. It's got a little bit of play in it. So I want to see if I can tighten that up. So we're going to change the brake cables. Also, I'm going to change the brake pads. These have been changed a few times, but they're still pretty old at this point. And yeah, so everything I got here, all the replacement parts are from AliExpress. Nothing here except for this multi-tool. I believe that was $60. So Leatherman Wave knockoff titanium. But this was, you know, a multi-tool, bicycle multi-tool from AliExpress. It's about $6. Got some grips, new hand grips. And I gotta be honest, they don't feel that great, but they were less than $5. I got some protectors, chainstay protector, but I'm gonna put it here on my fork because I've noticed that I'm getting a little wear. I'm bashing through the woods all the time with this thing. So I'm gonna put some of those chainstay protectors. Usually they go here, there's one right here. Even though I don't need one, I got a belt. But yeah, those stickers that go there. So I think that was $3 for 10 or 5, I can't remember. I got some brake cable. It's lined, whatever, though, with the lubricating lining and the standard kind of two-ended brake cable. Cut whatever end off you're not using. That's enough for 2 brakes. I think that was about $10. 2 sets of not Dura Ace, but Ride Ace brand brake pads. I got 2 of those. I think each of these were less than $4. A pair of lights. Each one of these lights was $2.95. I'm going to replace this light here with 2 lights. Let's put one on either side, kind of pointing cross witch. And yeah, and the multi-tool I went over already. My other one stripped out. So we're gonna try and do this whole maintenance effort on pumpkin is gonna be with AliExpress items. So what was that? Say so maybe about $40 minus the multi-tool. I'll show you the multi-tool. So this is a Leatherman Wave knockoff. Wave titanium knockoff. I used to own one. The actual brand, Leatherman Wave titanium, but it got stolen out of my car one day. I was dumb and left all my stuff in my car. Die camping. This was about $60, and this is actually not too bad. I think it'll cut the brake cable just fine. It's got sorry, I'm just gonna go off camera here for a sec. It's got that replaceable carbide cutter in there. My Leatherman Wave, the regular one, the stainless one, doesn't have that. So that should cut the brake cable just fine. And the brake maintenance I should be able to do with this guy. And yeah, the lights, I don't know. Like I know they were cheap. They work fine. They're still they're still whatever, USB mini, not C, old school mini, and they're really light, so I don't imagine there's a whole lot of battery in them, but they're all right. They come out of the mount, act as a flashlight. I got 3 settings and a flash. Yeah, they should be fine. I'm not going to worry about them. That's why, you know what I mean? If I lose one or it stops working, it's only $3. Less than $3, I think. So yeah, we're going to try AliExpress refurb at my house. Hopefully the neighbors stay quiet and everything goes all right. Of course, the second I come outside, one of my fucking moron neighbors decides it's a good idea to fucking run their fucking gas leaf blower downtown Toronto. All right, we'll start out with the front brake. See if the Chinese cutters cut the cable. That would be kind of nice. There's a little kind of divot in there. I don't know if that's a blade. Yeah, it looks like it. So let's give it a shot. Nope. It's exactly what I thought I would do. Just kind of squash it. Let's try it again, but on the straight blade. On a bit of an angle. If you don't have the proper cable cutters, just go on a bit of an angle. Nope. Yep. So far not working great. So let me get the real ones. I'll be right back. Alright, so I got larger diagonal cutters, although not that big, and a pair of bolt cutters. I think I'll just start with these. You really need the proper ones. Not doing it. I mean, it did it after the fact, but that one worked okay, I guess. Might be able to cut the casing with these ones. So that's the kind of releases the tension on the brake right there. A lot of brakes have that mechanism. So what I'm going to do is roll in cable adjuster. See how far out it is. So the brake pads are probably pretty worn down. Up here we're going to take this little O-ring. This is the original O-ring that's always been there. And we'll line up the slots. There. This one doesn't feel that great. Actually, it looks a little crooked. Let's just take it out. Yeah, it's all stripping. Winding it out too far. Wouldn't mind seeing if I can tighten up my brake lever a bit. Oh, for fuck's sakes. swear 50% of my neighbors are retarded. Like, not a fucking sound all day long, and fucking butthead decides he's got to do his fucking yard work on a Saturday afternoon. That's fine in the fucking country, but when you just take the time off work do it during the day, during the week. If you can't do that, buy another fucking house. Nobody wants you here. For fuck's sake. Fucking prick. Alright, so now the brake cable is free. Let's get a cool AliExpress tool. That'll be a 4 or 5. Start with a 5. That's a 5. There's one brake cable from 2007. Yeah, it's pretty stiff. I have lubricated them over the years, and there's no corrosion or anything. But let's pop off the front brake and see if we can tighten up that holding back. See if we can tighten up this one arm a bit. So to take the brake off, you gotta take this bolt out from the back, which will also release my fender, but that's okay. I take out one of the spacers. We'll see. That's been a while. That's not too bad. A little dirty, but not rusty. Brake, yeah, I might take that spacer out. If there's enough thread. There might be too much thread, and I won't be able to tighten that back. Let's put that there. Use it. So, see, there's a main pin bolt here that's holding that arm taut, and then there's another bolt here that holds this arm. So, it's an easy way to get at that. I think if I run this out a little bit, let's clear. I should just be able to get at it. That'll be a 3. Okay. So I'm just going to tighten that down. There's another little set. Yeah, I should loosen off that set screw. I'll do that. Let's compress that again. Probably compress even better without the pads in. Yeah, and these pads are worn down pretty good. I always use the front brake more than the back brake anyway, so. Let's take the pads off. Flags. I always forget to put on my rubber gloves. Yeah, it's pretty worn. There's a little bit of wear gap left, but pretty much done. So these are Cool Stock brand. These are made in the States, or whatever. They're distributed from the States. I used Cool Stock for decades. Let's loosen that set. Yeah, see now I've got lots of room here. Go. It's got a little bit of thread lock on it, the blue. I'm going to cinch that down. Go back to the 5. Should probably look at now. Where's the 4? Hold it with that, and just so because we can, I'm just going to use my pliers instead of a proper wrench. See if that did anything. Oh, that doesn't sound good. Spring popped out. It's way too tight now, that's why. Let's loosen that off. Yeah, it's right, it's loose now, but it's loose. It's going to be a tricky adjustment. It might be just worn out bushing, and I'll never get it. I gotta find something to sit on. There we go. That's way too loose. This one's pretty tight. I'm gonna guess the bushing's a little worn out. Wee bit tighter. I want it free but not loose. So that was like an 1/8 or 16th of a turn. Actually, that's not bad. Yeah, that's got it. No play, and that's pretty free. And while we're here, we'll just drop some tri-flow. Drop a little tri-flow in there. I'm missing my little straw for it. I should do it. There's a little bushing right here. If I get it on a newer part of the bushing. All right. Let's tighten up that grub. Tight. This one. Tight. Shove that bushing right up. I'll forego the bushing. It's plated stainless on aluminum, it should be fine. I'll leave the bushing. pop the spring back in. Easier said than done. Trifle. Top and bottom. Look like it. Force it over. There we go. It's much better with the lube in that bushing. Yeah. All right. Let's put it back. Keep that. I'm gonna leave that out and see if it'll tighten up. But if it doesn't, then I'll put it back. It's nicer to have the brakes as close as possible. Stiff. Tri-flow isn't really what you use for threads, but whatever. It's like I got a J-cloth right here. I should be using that. Pretty floppy. Could use to tighten down. Yeah, I need that spacer, see? It's tightened right up. Put the spacer between the fender. No. I need the fender back as far as it can go. Not that the fenders do much anyways. Quite annoying. Gotta tighten this up with an Allen key. not going to torque it down until I got the pads in and everything kind of lined up for the new brake pads. And usually what I do for cable adjustment is I wind it all the way in and then back it out about a turn and a bit, so you can actually loosen it in if you have to. This one I'll keep as close as I can to all the way in. It's on the Rider Ace. Not bad. For weight, not bad. These are definitely heavier. Old ones. We got front, and that says right. And I guess space here. Instruction. I think that's it. It's hard to tell because that part is roundy and that part is flat. That part is roundy. So it goes like that. Then that part is roundy. Concave goes to the outside like that. Concave goes to the inside. Before we put this on, let's just switch down. Probably would have been better. Probably would have been better to put the pads on before I put the brake pad. So. Five? Yeah. kind of get them ballparked. Before I tighten them right down. Get it in the ballpark. I'm feeling pretty decent actually. It's like some whistling sound. I fucking hate this city. It's always something fucking. Some idiot kid. Yeah, I can see it turning a little bit there. Okay. So when I tighten it, I have it this way, the caliper more to this side, so when I continue to tighten it up, it'll push it more this way. So right now it doesn't quite line up, like one side hits before the other. But when I tighten it more, it'll push it to the right way that it needs to go. Okay. That's good, that's good. That's good. So this kit, these brake cables from China, from AliExpress, came with a nice little bag of shit. Got some ferrules, cable guides, some crimps. Decent little kit. And these are Teflon lined or whatever, they're lined. I don't know with what. The fuck is that whistling sound? I usually check these to make sure there's no burr from the casing in there. Just kind of open it up. Like that. And I'll just make it easy on myself and take the old one. There. These should cut them okay. Yeah, it's not horrible. See if I can clean that up a little bit. Oops. Go. These have a file. There it is. The fuck is that whistly sound? Finer side seems to work better. Oh, that's not bad. Nice. So, good thing to do is, oops. You want to stick the cable through and pierce that end because it'll be closed shut. There you go. Go back through. Just gonna open it up. Job's a good one. Grab a cable. See if the gauge is the same. Yeah, it's about the same. So this is the end we want, this is the end we don't. And I think just to save a bit of time, we'll just use the old one and cut it a bit longer because I had cut it off a bit. Not fantastic. And you don't want it all splayed out. I should have ran it through the casing first. That should be alright. Let's put a little bit of tri-flow. Put that on the end of my bike. Bag of stuff and get a couple of these ferrules. Use plastic. I just go on under the cable like that. Yeah, not bad. It could be a little heavier duty, but for the price, I guess, whatever. just lovely. Oh yeah. There's nothing there. Run it back through the brake again. Not tight, just to get it ready. There. This one's very loose. Take a look at that. I'm not gonna worry about that one's alright. But look at this one's pretty wonky. To that effect. Put that down in the lower lock position. The cable tensioners are awesome, but I'm not going to use, I don't have one. Get back to that. First, let's crimp a ferrule on the end of that. Yeah, that's fine. Now, yeah, the brakes are way over that way, so let's give them a good squeeze. Just to compress the casing and the ferrules. Go in the direction of the segment. Tight. Okay. Yeah, I'm looking. Usually, what I do is I angle the pad slightly the front down on the brake surface, so when they brake, if there's any flex, it flexes straight. So it's actually not bad. I can see it's going up on the rim a little bit. I mean, it's not that big a deal. On good brakes where they're nice and tight, like there's not a lot of slop, you don't really have to worry too much about it. You really crank on it. If you crank on the brakes, you can tighten them up pretty tight. Go. Still pushing a bit that way. Okay, so there's just a little bit of that's up here. Just gonna give it a little bit of a turn up here. Switch it up down. Good and tight. That's it. I don't want to loosen that off again. I might have to. Fender needs to go up. Jam under it. I jam under it. Just quickly. Pretty much on the money. Lovely. One breaking. New pads. New ferrule. It's better. I think the bushing is worn. Better than it was. It's still knocking back and forth a little bit. Good enough. Good enough for rock and roll. Oops. A bit of a close-up. Oops. I can't quite see myself. I'm going to take a bit of a break. Okay, so you saw I did the front brake. It's almost identical to the back brake. Except the back brake is got cable stops. I'm just going to do that one off camera because it's the same thing. But I am going to see if I can cinch up this lever a bit. I have a hunch the bushings are pretty worn out, but we'll give it a shot. So I'm going to do that and then I'll come back. You're silly. Okay, so got the old cable off, the new cable's all made up, and I actually pulled the brake lever off and tightened up that grub screw there, which tightens against this pivot here. And it's much better. It's still got a bit of slop because that pivot's wearing, but this is much better now. So I'm just going to put the rest of the cables on and the brake pads. Okay, so I got the back brake in, the brake cable, new brake pads. Here's the rub for the Chinese brake cable. That's too short. I had like next to none extra after I cut off the end. I had to shorten this a tiny bit, and it's about as short as I'm going to go on the front anyways. So it's just like once the brakes wear in a bit, it'll be okay, but it's a little on the taut side, but that's dumb. So that's how they're doing it. They're saving most new brake cables. The rear would have, you know, I would have had maybe 8 inches, and this one just made it. This is how much I cut off the end. Maybe if I cut it even closer to the, if I had cut it right there, I probably would have been okay, but it's still too short. You want it longer. You want it to come out a couple inches, because if this bolt kind of loosens up a tiny bit, rather than it just flying through and you having 0 brakes, it'll like pull up through the half loose clamp a bit, and you might still have a little bit of brake left. Plus it's easier to fix. Let's pull it back down again. If it pulls it right out, usually it's all flat and wrecked and you can't get it back in again. So yeah, definitely too short. So I'm just gonna put on the new grips. I think that's that. We're almost done. Just gonna put on the other grip. I got a spare cheap feeling. They're okay. And then caps, actual MEC, not the fake new one. Also, the grips are a little bit short. Saving money. I'm not sure if I like these wings, but I'll give them a shot. The trick to tightening brake levers is you don't want to tighten them right down. You want to still be able to kind of push them around a bit. That way if you crash, they just slide, they don't break. There we go. Got the new lights. Job's a good one. Just up close of the grip. And I added these two lights. Wow. And it came up nice. Everything's orange. It's too bad these cables are a bit short. I have to buy another one from a bike shop. It's the right length. Unless there were two different lengths. I didn't really look.